Hey everyone, it's Steve with Clover FPV Systems, and today I'm going to be breaking down for you what comes with the current version of the Clover FPV Systems Universal Mounting Kit. Here's a short intro. Now let's get into it. Here I have a Clover cage already assembled, just waiting for a VTX to be put in it. Now, it's perfectly viable to just take this bad boy and throw some double-sided tape on it and stick it to your body or whatever device that you have. That being said, we have a large number of 3D printable customizable parts that make mounting it in every particular way possible. Here we have top plate protection. Pretty self-explanatory. You just take the top plate screws off and screw this thing in on top. This here is a battery holder for CNHL's 2S battery. There will be a link in the description for that. Here we have the GoPro mount that goes on the top plate. That's for attaching a GoPro or whatever device you've adapted to GoPro prongs. Here we have the GoPro wedge for the universal mount so that you can mount your Clover cage wherever you would mount a GoPro. Here we have the universal mounting plate and the universal mounting plate light. There's a few differences between these and we'll describe them as we go along. The most important element for the universal mounting kit is the universal mounting plate. This is it here. You're going to notice the inset logo in the top for ventilation, some holes for screws to go through, some holes for screw heads to rest in, and some holes for M3 nuts to inset into. Your mounting kit is going to come with a set of hardware. If you fish that out, you can find 10 M3 nuts, 4 for the universal plate and 4 for the universal plate light. Let's take those out and start putting them into your recesses. Now, the 3D print is designed to hold these in place, but it is not a bad idea at this point during the build to use a little bit of glue to get these to stick in there forever. Obviously, you don't want to glue your screws in place and you don't want to make it so that you can't thread in. I usually just use a hex driver to push these boys into place. Press over the top to make sure it's flat and then push it all the way to the bottom. If it is crooked in there, it's going to tend to cross thread. So you want to make sure that you've pushed it down all the way on both sides. So there's 4 in the bottom. And these 4 are for the universal plate light. The next thing that you're going to want to do is attach your antenna's external mount. It uses 2 screws into the back. Those screws are going to be the 8mm screws included with the kit. That's the longest ones that'll fit in this hold. They hold on pretty good just screwing into the TPU, but if you want to make it so it doesn't go anywhere, I suggest using glue on this step as well. Just get it onto your hex head and start by threading it into the thingy. And then screw it in the rest of the way. Like I said, it just threads into the TPU. You can do the same with the quick plate light. And now your antenna is ready to swap down into a less vulnerable location. To do that, you just slide the antenna mount into the 3D print as well as you can. Shove that in there just a little bit to get it started. And then the screw threads into the TPU here as well. Alright, next thing that you're going to want to do is add a fan. If you're running it on anything but a quadcopter, it's going to overheat if you don't have one. If you'll follow the link in the description, you'll find this heavy-duty HV-RC car fan. It's a 30x30 fan. There's a bunch of versions of it on the market and they all seem like clones of each other. And they're all designed to fit with this system. Grab 2 of your 25mm M3 screws that came with your mounting kit and thread those through into the side that makes the most sense for your setup. You can do the same with the quick plate light, and the fan screws, the accessory screws, will actually be what ends up holding your wedge into place when you use the quick plate light, because it has options where you can use the 35mm screws to go all the way through, but if you want to save some weight, you can use shorter screws to screw in on each side. Alright, when you go to mount your Clover cage to the universal mounting plate, you just set it down into the universal mount and the screw heads should sink into the recesses, holding it in place well enough so that you can set your 4 mounting screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do the front 2 first because I have something to show you with the back 2 screws. Alright, here in the back we have to address our cable retention plate. There is a little flap here that you're going to want to mount using these 2 screws in the back, and you give your VTX wires just a couple of twists and route them underneath this pad so that when you screw down into your rear mounting holes, it offers a little bit of protection from tug-aways on that cable. And you screw these down tight. If the screw in the universal mounting plate starts to spin, that's alright. That just means that you're screwed down as hard as you need to be. It doesn't need to be screwed down any harder than that. It's not going anywhere. Now comes the fun part. Choose how you want to mount your Clover cage. Included with your order are 2 mounting options. The traditional GoPro prong for mounting anywhere that you would mount a GoPro, and the original mounting wedge that you can use double-sided tape on and stick to wherever you want to mount it, and then slide your Clover cage on and off and mount it using the long 35mm screws that just insert to the side right here. You should be able to push these through a fair way. Just make sure that you aren't popping your screws out on the other side. And then you just tighten it down as much as you can, and you'll see it clamp down onto that dovetail wedge. Here's the most important thing to know about the system. It is made to be customized. There are 3D printable files for all of these, and this wedge right here is especially made to adapt and print your own hard mounting solutions for mounting. Here's a quick example of how I used the mounting wedge to make my own custom mount for my H16 BM. If we remove my universal mounting plate here, you'll see that this is the wedge shape from right here, and the platform that I designed underneath has holes that allowed me to screw into the actual car's frame so that the mount can be as hard as possible. That's solid TPU, SaneSmart 95A TPU, and it's hard as a rock. And then you just slide your Clover cage on there like that. I'm making a guide for how you can adapt the wedge to your system. That video is coming soon. And what's next to talk about is how to wire your VTX to your particular vehicle. Please check the link to the video in the description or on the screen. If you thought this video was helpful, please hit a like, and now's a good time to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any videos on how to free your VTX and FPV everything. If you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, anything that I can help you with, please find the resources on the community tab of the website, cloverfpvsystems.com, and either reach out to me directly or join our Discord of FPV Maniacs. We are dedicated to get you wired up and working, so if it is a ground car, a boat, a fixed wing, anything, please reach out so that we can get you all hooked up and ready to go. There are going to be guides on how to do all of this stuff, so just stay tuned and hopefully we'll have you covered on any needs that you have. And remember, the cure for bad luck isn't good luck, it's perseverance. So stay up, stay flying, stay bashing, and we'll see you in the next video.